In today's episode, guys, we're going to be looking at 5 key exercises that all hockey players should be doing to help to improve your performance and reduce the risk of injury. This content is designed to help you to become a better hockey athlete. And if you like the video, please do like and subscribe, and you can get more content just like this. Let's dive right in. So first up, we have the split squat. This is a must for hockey players because most of the game is played in split stance. Whether you're running, lunging, tackling, shooting, you're always in a split stance position. So it's really going to help to build up single leg strength, balance and control, and also build resilience against the injuries associated with these low positions. To do it properly, you want to make sure we're keeping a nice tall torso, not having any lateral sway, so no movement left or right in the trunk. And we're going to want to hit these nice 90-degree shapes when you're in the split squat. So at the bottom, your knees should both be at 90-degree angles with a nice tall posture, bar sitting comfortably on the back of the shoulders, and really good controlled tempo on the way down with an explosive push up. Try and aim for around 8 to 12 reps per leg. If you're focused more around tissue capacity, if you're trying to focus on really developing maximal strength, try to stick to the 3 to 6 reps per side range and between 3 to 5 sets in total per session. Next is the RDL. This is one of the best ways to strengthen your hamstrings and glutes, muscles that are crucial for sprinting, cutting and stopping quickly. Key benefits of this are obviously strengthening the key muscle groups of the hamstring and the glutes, improves acceleration and deceleration, and it's also going to reduce the risk of hamstring and lower back injury because you're able to control through the spine and through the posterior chain a lot more effectively. Again, to do this properly, use a dumbbell or barbell in front of you with a slight bend in the knee. You're going to hinge at the hips, imagining there's a little rope being attached to your hips, it's pulling you backwards, lowering the weights down to your thighs. Try and keep it back as neutral as you can do, so reducing any flexion, and try and really feel the stretch in your hamstrings, not in your lower back. Try and aim to perform again around 8 to 12 repetitions if you're trying to build capacity, or you can go heavy between 3 to 6 reps if you're trying to develop maximal strength, but just make sure you're building capacity first. Some of the common mistakes to avoid is rounding your back, turning it into a squat. Just make sure you're keeping it a hinge movement by really exaggerating pushing the hips backwards, and going too low and losing hamstring tension and getting into too much flexion. Number 3 is a Copenhagen hold. These are a fantastic exercise for developing adductor strength, which helps with quick lateral movement, agility, and preventing injury of the groin and hip, which is one of the more common injuries in hockey. Key benefits is obviously improving that groin strength. It helps to improve hip stability, and it's going to reduce the risk of injury at the hip and groin. To do this properly, put your top leg on a bench or step with the lower leg off the ground, and this can either be a long lever like in this video or short lever where you are resting on the knee. You're going to hold for between 15 to 30 seconds, and you can do multiple reps of this, and you can also build the volume up so you can end up doing up to around 60 to 90 second holds once you've built the capacity to do that. But you could start off with doing 3 reps of 15 seconds per side for 45 seconds of total volume and build from there. Common mistakes are not keeping your hips forwards, letting your hips drop, and also holding too much tension in your upper body when you're doing this. Try to keep relaxed throughout the body. Next is calf raises. Hockey's all about fast, explosive movement, and strong calves are key for both acceleration and ankle stability and protecting the ankle from injury. Key benefits obviously improving sprint speed. They produce a lot of force during sprinting. They strengthen the ankle, and it helps to enhance endurance for constant movement, and building capacity of the calf is a really, really important factor in reducing the risk of ankle injury and lower body injury more generally in hockey. To do it properly, stand on a step or flat ground, push up onto your toes, squeezing your calves, and keep a nice controlled tempo throughout. You can do this with a bent knee or a straight leg, both double leg and single leg, and just try to get as much volume into this as you possibly can do. So generally 12 to 15 reps per leg when you're building capacity, although the calf can respond to very heavy loads as well. 6 to 8 repetitions heavily loaded on a single leg can also be really, really effective. Common mistakes to avoid is rushing. Just make sure you're controlling the movement and also not using a full range of motion when you're doing the exercise. And finally, lateral lunges. Hockey is a multi-directional sport, not just forwards but also backwards and side to side. So this exercise helps to build strength for both cutting and agility when you need to change direction on the pitch. So this exercise helps to improve lateral glute strength, it improves changes of direction through improved agility and range of motion, and also helps to build knee and hip stability. To do it properly, you're going to move sideways, keeping your toes forwards. You're going to sink into a lunge whilst keeping your other leg straight, push back up to the centre, and then repeat, trying to keep again a nice tall posture, and perform 8 to 12 repetitions per leg if you're trying to build capacity. And generally this isn't an exercise that you would load super heavy just because some of the technique can break down. So try and keep this more of a volume based exercise. Common mistakes to avoid is letting your knee move in, what's called knee valgus, and not sitting back into the movement enough. And primarily it's just not getting enough depth in the movement at the bottom. This will give you the strength and control to really help improve agility, change of direction, and hip strength and control.